Have you ever found yourself pausing, wondering, should I say much or many? Or maybe a lot of? It's a super common question in English, but you know what? It's actually way simpler than you think. Together, we're going to clear it all up right now.
So here's what we're going to do. First, we'll listen to a quick shopping conversation. Then, we'll become language detectives and see what we can find. After that, I'll let you in on 2 really simple rules that make everything make sense. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with some practice. Ready? Let's go. So, this is the big question, right? It trips a lot of people up. But don't you worry, the answer is just around the corner. A great way to start is by just listening. Okay, first up is our shopping conversation. Your job is just to listen, pay attention to how the speakers talk about the things they need to buy.
I'm going to shopping. Do we need many apples?
Not really. We still have a lot of apples at home.
Okay. Do we have much bread?
No, we don't. There isn't much bread left.
Then I'll buy a lot of bread and a lot of water.
Good idea. We also don't have many bottles of water.
Okay, great listening. Now it's time to put on our detective hats. We're going to investigate that conversation and look for some clues. All right, detective, here's our first clue. Think back to the word apples. Did you hear much apples, many apples, or a lot of apples? What did they say?
That's it. We heard many in the question and a lot of in the answer. Awesome. You're a natural at this. Okay, let's move on to our next piece of evidence, the word bread. Which quantifiers did the speakers use when they were talking about bread?
Exactly. This time it was much and a lot of. So, why do we say many apples but much bread? The answer is all about 2 very simple rules. All right, this is where the magic happens. I'm about to share the 2 simple rules that will make this all click into place. This is the secret. First, we just need to know about 2 types of nouns. First, countable nouns. These are things you can literally count, right? 1 apple, 2 apples, 3 chairs. Easy. Then you have uncountable nouns. These are things you can't really count individually, like water, or bread, or sugar. You usually measure them. So, here's rule number 1, the noun rule. It's so easy. Use many for things you can count, your countable nouns. Use much for things you can't, the uncountable ones. And the best part, a lot of up is your best friend. It works with both. How cool is that? But wait, there's one more little secret, and that's the sentence rule. Basically, if you're saying something positive, like a yes sentence, it almost always sounds more natural to use a lot of. Then, when you're asking questions or making negative sentences, that's when you bring out much and many. Take a look at this. I have a lot of money. Sounds perfect, totally natural. Now, I have much money. It's not technically wrong, but it sounds a little stiff, maybe a bit old-fashioned. So just remember, for positive sentences, a lot of is your go-to word. Okay, you have the rules now. You know the secret. Let's do a quick practice round just to make sure everything is crystal clear. Let's walk through these. We don't have many apples. Okay, why many? Because apples are countable and it's a negative sentence. Check. Next, do you need many bags? Again, bags are countable and this time it's a question. Perfect. How about there isn't much water? Well, water is uncountable and it's negative, so we use much. And finally, we bought a lot of fruit. This is a positive sentence, so a lot of just sounds best. See, it all makes sense.
So let's boil it all down. Here it is, the final summary. For questions and for negative sentences, use much with uncountable things and many with countable things. And for all your positive, happy sentences, just use a lot of. It works every single time. And that's it. You've cracked the code. So now it's your turn to practice. I have a question for you. What do you have a lot of in your home? Go on, write a sentence and try it out. You did a fantastic job today. Thanks so much for joining me.